What's up everyone, I'm Toast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some of the craziest, most clutch wins I've ever had running a triple shadow team in the Spring Cup. After someone mentioned Dragon being one of the most underrated secondary typings in a recent question of the day, I thought I'd give a double Dragon team a try, with Kingdra as the save swap and Exeggutor as the closer. Now here's the neat part, I'm running Blizzard on my Kingdra to deal insane neutral damage up against Galarian Weezing and Ferrothorn to potentially flip those matchups. Yesterday I ran Pelipper in the lead and I got some pretty good wins. I was ready to make a video out of it, but then today, after seeing Jamie Finn's short, I decided to stick Shadow Golduck in the lead, and I had one of the craziest runs you'll ever see. So you'll see those two sets plus a few bonus battles from yesterday. And with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What is the best Shadow Pokemon for the Spring Cup meta? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead into a Trevenant, not the best lead for us, so I'm going to swap into my Shadow Kingdra. The opponent responds with a Ferrothorn, and this is great, this is what I want. I want to go for that Blizzard and potentially nuke this Ferrothorn. The opponent goes for a Mirror Shot bait, we don't shield, but they do get the debuff. Now we go for the Blizzard, and the opponent also shields the Blizzard, and the reason for that is because I actually faced this opponent yesterday as well, and it was a match where I was able to land the Blizzard and flip a matchup, so unfortunately they do end up shielding it this time around. Looks like that unsuspecting Blizzard only really works once, and now here we're going in with our Alolan Exeggutor. They get another debuff with that Mirror Shot. We're going to let another one go through. Going to swap into my Golduck. Wasn't really keeping track of their energy, so I tried to catch there. Maybe I was one fast move out. Unfortunately, I have to shield the Power Whip. They come back in with the Trevenant, and now it's not looking so great for us. Gonna shield the Seed Bomb. I will make it to an Ice Beam in time, hoping that they call a bait here. Just gonna full send the Ice Beam, and the opponent does end up shielding it. They're gonna go for the Farm Down, and that allows me to get to a Cross Chop. It's double resisted, but it's gonna do enough damage where they can't actually farm me down anymore. So they're forced to throw their energy. Seed Bomb takes me out, but unfortunately they've got back-to-back charge moves. This will be double resisted. We will live it, but it really depends on what they've got in the back. So we're going to find out very soon that it's a Tentacruel, and unfortunately we're not able to take that game. So we do lose the first game, but that is going to be the only loss in this two sets. So into the next battle, the opponent safe swaps into a Roserade. I can just shield once, fully confusion, farm them down. Gonna come out with a lot of energy, and the opponent is going to be coming in with a Ferrothorn, so I'm gonna go for the Cross Chop here. This will do some nice damage, and I will also be able to get off a second Cross Chop, and now they're getting the energy for that Power Whip, so I will now swap into my Alolan Exeggutor. Gonna let this charge move go through as I expect them to come back in with the Tentacruel straight away, and they do, and that doesn't really matter to me. Gonna come in with my Kingdra as we are a lot more healthy, and I can comfortably tank an Acid Spray from this range if they choose to go for it. So gonna go for the Octazooka here. Unfortunately we don't get the debuff. I'm actually gonna call that they're going for a nuke move, and they go for the Sludge Wave, and that's huge for me because it allows me to fully farm them down, and now we will make it to an Octazooka in time. The opponent has to realistically get to back-to-back charge moves to win this game. We even get the attack drop there. Gonna swap into my Golduck, hoping that they would throw straight away, but they don't. They do farm up a bit of extra energy, but I'm still able to Dragon Breath, farm them down, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Lantern in the lead. Gonna swap into my Kingdra. The opponent responds with Galarian Weezing, and this is another matchup where we could potentially flip it with that Blizzard. Unfortunately, very slow to get there. They're going for the full farm down. We get to the Blizzard in time. Blizzard one-shots the Galarian Weezing, and we flip the matchup up against a Fairy type with a Dragon Breath user. That is insane, and now we completely wall this Lantern, double resisting everything they can throw. They go for a Surf. It does absolutely nothing. I'm just going to commit to the full farm down. I know they're going to swap out before that, and they do swap into a Shadow Marwile. We're going to go for the Seed Bomb here. It will do some nice damage actually, considering it is resisted because we are both Shadows. I come in with my Shadow Golduck. We've still got 2 shields remaining, so at this point I might as well start shielding. Gonna go for the Cross Chop here. We will make it to another Cross Chop before they make it to their second charge move, and in actual fact they get fully confusion farmed down, and I can make it to the back-to-back cross chops in time. But my opponent is actually going to let the cross chop go through. They recognize there was no more win condition, and they do concede the match. Into the next battle, we see another Marwile, and once again they swap into a Roserade. This time I'm going to go for that cross chop, and even though it's resisted, it probably does take them out from this range. So we grab a shield. I can now safely shield here, and even if they go for Weather Ball, I'm going to be able to confusion farm them down before they get to a second one. We get the farm down here, and the opponent is going to be coming in with the Shadow Marwile once again, so I'm actually just going to stay in this matchup here. No point swapping out, as I don't want to get switch locked and potentially have my Alolan Exeggutor aligned with their Marwile, so just going to stay in. They go for Power Punch, it does take me out. I come in with the Kingdra, they've got a Gastrodon. I stay in initially just for a little bit so I can get a little bit of residual energy. Come in with my Alolan Exeggutor, tank the first Body Slam. I'm going to go for the full farm down. They do get to the charge move here, but that's fine. I will be able to get the Dragon Tail through, go straight for a Seed Bomb, and they actually didn't get a fast move through there. So that's very interesting. I think they might have given up. No, they actually go for the Fire Fang here. So unfortunately for them, they weren't able to attack. We get a second Seed Bomb through, and we take that game. But honestly, I think we still had that in the bag, unless they were running Play Rough, which is pretty unlikely for this meta. But still, I think Kingdra would have outpaced them anyways. But into the next battle, we see a Trevenant in the lead. They go straight for a Seed Bomb, so I know I am able to tank the Seed Bomb, but they can easily shield once and fully farm me down. We go for the Octazooka, no debuff unfortunately, but that is absolutely fine. Gonna come in with my Alolan Exeggutor. And the opponent is going to go for a charge move, might as well shield this, they won't get to a second one, and it is the Shadow Ball, so that's a great shield. They come in with their Tentacruel, I'm going to go for the Seed Bomb here, and then I will instantly swap into my Shadow Golduck, and we swap out here. We get a few confusions off, the opponent then swaps into their Ferrothorn. Unfortunately, I throw on Alignment, very hard to time it with a 4-turn move up against a 3-turn move when we're swapping out at different times. They go for the charge move here, it is a Power Whip, we do correctly shield it. Gonna go for the cross chop just before they make it to a second Power Whip, and this will grab the final shield from the opponent. They're going to throw their energy, and they did overfarm just slightly. Power Whip takes me out, and now I need to fully Dragon Tail, farm them down, but they get to a charge move, and is this going to be enough to take me out? Power Whip actually doesn't take us out. We live with 1 HP and a dream. We get to the Seed Bomb, and Seed Bomb takes out the Tentacruel, and we take that game to go 4-1 in that first set. Into the next battle, we see yet another Shadow Marwile in the lead. They swap into a Ferrothorn, and because they swap, that takes 1 turn in the lead, so I can get off the cross chop, not on a CMB tie or anything like that. Swap into my Exeggutor, I will shield, I don't expect them to bait here, and they don't, they full send the Flash Cannon, and that will mean I can get a very nice Dragon Tail farm down. This is just going to be a Power Whip, so I let it go through. It's double resisted. We already saw in the previous battle, it doesn't do much damage. We're now going to get off back-to-back Seed Bombs up against the Shadow Marwile here, and they might even let both go through, considering they know that they're not going to be that good up against the Shadow Golduck, and that's exactly what they do. They let both moves go through. I'm now going to come in with my Shadow Golduck, try to confusion farm them down. They swap out into Lantern, and this is really tricky here. This is a matchup where I really need the Octazooka debuff, because if I don't get it, then it's pretty much game over. So we're going to go for the Octazooka here. We really need to get that debuff, and we get the debuff, and that will swing this matchup in my favor. You'll see now the Thunderbolt doesn't do an awful lot of damage. They can't just go for a Surf, and the opponent knows that, and they concede the match. So we do get very lucky with the debuff there, and I think as well in another game in this set. But yesterday, when I was running this team, I think I literally got maybe 2 or 3 Octazooka debuffs in all 25 battles, which is just insane considering it's a 50% chance. But here the opponent swapped into Ferrothorn, we play out exactly the same, shield up the Flash Cannon, gonna go for the full Dragon Tail farm down, and that's perfectly fine here. Gonna let the second move go through, just a Power Whip once again, so very nice here. Gonna wait out the switch clock, the opponent is, and we're gonna go for that Seed Bomb, and this is a matchup where we can actually go for the Draco Meteor, but unfortunately we're not gonna be able to get there, so yeah. It doesn't look like we need the Draco Meteor so far, and we go for the Seed Bomb. The opponent knows it is just a Seed Bomb, so they do let that second charge move go through. We come in with our Shadow Golduck, gonna let this move go through, and then swap instantly into the Kingdra. The opponent swaps in with their Trevenant, and this is another very dicey matchup. At least it is even shields. I'm gonna shield the first move. I know it is just a Seed Bomb, but we saw before when the opponent did land a Seed Bomb, they could just fully farm me down. So we go for the Exeggutor, grab a shield, and we get the debuff again, and the opponent commits to the Shadow Ball, or they've just given up, and yeah, we're able to take that game. So 2 clutch Exeggutor debuffs coming through 2 games in a row. We will certainly take that. And into the next battle, we see a Tentacruel in the lead. The opponent is staying in for some reason, and they throw on alignment there, so I do get the full confusion through. They do bait with an Acid Spray, which is unfortunate. They now swap into a Ferrothorn, and once again, we end up throwing on alignment. Certainly not ideal for us here, but I'm just going to go for the second cross chop, and this will grab a shield from the opponent, most likely, and yes, we are able to grab that shield. Unfortunately, we haven't done quite as much damage with the confusion this time around, so we won't be able to fully farm them down. So I'm going to count to 5 Bullet Seeds and throw on the CMP tie here, and it's up to my opponent whether they want to shield. They choose not to shield, which is fine by me. They come in with a Shadow Marwile. Gonna go for the Seed Bomb here, and this will do some nice damage even though it is resisted, and the opponent gonna commit to the farm down. No, they end up throwing a Power Punch just as I reach the Seed Bomb there, so good timing, but we actually live with 1 HP once again. So clutch. Gonna go for the Seed Bomb, grab the final shield, and at this point it should be a comfortable game. We just have to watch out for a potential catch. The opponent gonna go for a charge move. Do they have Play Rough? Very unlikely. No, it's just an Iron Head. It is boosted, and the opponent goes for the catch. They don't get it, and now I'm gonna flex here with the Blizzard, and Blizzard from this range takes out the Marwile, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, a Lantern in the lead. Not an ideal lead. Gonna swap into my Shadow Kingdra. The opponent is staying in, and unfortunately they will grab a shield here, as I don't want to tank a Thunderbolt. So we do shield it up. The opponent swaps into a Pelipper. This is a matchup where I can flip it, and these Weather Balls are going to do absolutely nothing. But with that spark damage chipping in the initial matchup, it's not too good for us. So gonna let the first move go through. No, I do shield it last second. It is a Weather Ball. I know this is just gonna be another Weather Ball, so I can let this move go through, and it doesn't do that much damage. Well, I mean, I had no shields anyway. We're gonna go for the Exeggutor here. Exeggutor grabs a shield, but unfortunately they're able to wing attack farm me down. I don't think they have much energy though, so I should be able to confusion farm them down before they get off a charge move, which is amazing. We're now going to go for a cross chop, and we should be able to go for one more confusion and then potentially catch a Thunderbolt onto my Alolan Exeggutor. We're not able to make the catch, unfortunately, but we have baited out the Marwile. They're going to go for a Power Punch straight away. I'm going to go for the Seed Bomb. I don't think I can tank 2 Fire Fangs, and I don't really want to rely on the new mechanic. And you can see there, the second Fire Fang does take us out, so I think I was right in throwing there. Now we really need to survive this Power Up Punch, and we hang on with 1 HP for like the 3rd game in these 2 sets. Go for that Cross Chop. Cross Chop takes out the Lantern, and we take that game. So that was just insane. We've had all the right Exeggutor debuffs, and we've had like 3 clutch 1 HP survives to take those games. And into the final battle of the second set, we lead into a Jellicent. We swap into the Kingdra. They bait us with a Surf, which is unfortunate, but at least it's not a Bubble Beam, because that would debuff us, of course. We now go for the Exeggutor, grab a shield, and we get the debuff, so I can safely let this move go through. And the opponent baits with another Surf there before swapping into their Trevenant, and unfortunately they do get to the charge move on the CMP tie, and they win CMP. I'm going to let Kingdra go down, come in with my Shadow Alolan Exeggutor, and they have to go for 7 Shadow Claws to get to a Shadow Ball, and we get the farm down. They don't get the new mechanic, which is amazing for me. And at this point, they're going to come in with a Poison Jab Roserade. We don't quite have a Draco yet, but we still grab the shield. And at this point, I can come in with my Golduck, fully confusion farm them down, shield once, and even though I've only got resisted charge moves to throw into this Jellicent, we should still be able to take this matchup here with the Ice Beam, and one more confusion takes out the Jellicent, and I'm able to take that game. So we do end up going 5-0 in that second set there. And now into the bonus battles, and this is the first matchup I had up against Dark Force, who was my first opponent in the first set of this video. But here obviously a very bad lead leading into the Lantern with our Pelipper this time around. They swap into their Galarian Weezing. They still get to a charge move in time, but we can live a brutal swing, and that will allow us to get to the Blizzard, and this Blizzard takes out the Weezing. We flip switch advantage, and now we will have our Alolan Exeggutor aligned with the Lantern, which is literally the best matchup here for us. So they come in with the Marwile. We can tank this damage quite comfortably. Are we going to let this move go through? Yeah, we do let it go through. It's just an Iron Head. It doesn't do an awful lot of damage, in all honesty. We now go for the Weather Ball, grabbing a shield. The opponent swaps into Lantern. Unfortunately for them, we have Exeggutor, and I can just fully Dragon Tail farm down the Lantern here and come out with a bunch of energy. They go for Thunderbolt, double resisted. They make it to a last second charge move, and they're going for a Surf this time around, still double resisted. We get to the back-to-back Seed Bombs up against this Marwile. Probably going to grab a shield in the first one. We do get the shield there, gonna make it to a second Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb does some big damage. It puts them into range where a Weather Ball will take them out, and we get to the Weather Ball in time, and Weather Ball will be enough to take out the Marwile, and we take that game. So even though that was a Lantern double Fairy team, we beat it with Pelipper double Dragon. So that was absolutely crazy. Of course, you guys know he did get his revenge up against me in the set I showed earlier in the video, but that was still very satisfying. And into this battle, we see a Tentacruel in the lead. The opponent goes for an Acid Spray. We go for that Hurricane, and then we swap into our Kingdra. They're going to go for another Acid Spray up against the Kingdra, and they swap into a Trevenant, and we barely make it to an Octazooka before they get to a Seed Bomb. So Octazooka grabs a shield, we don't get a debuff, and they are able to fully farm me down. I'm now going to come in with my Alolan Exeggutor because we do double resist the grass moves here. So I'm basically forcing them to throw a Shadow Ball. But the opponent actually does go for the Shadow Ball there. I don't know why, I thought they baited. But at this point, I'm actually going to shield here because I'm thinking that, honestly, the Poison Jab damage will certainly add up fast up against the Tentacruel. So we do shield it. We go straight for the Seed Bomb here, taking out the Tentacruel. They've got a Roserade in the back. We're going to swap, and we perfectly catch the Weather Ball onto the Pelipper, and at this point we will be able to outpace to our own Weather Ball, and even though it's resisted with those few wing attacks, Weather Ball takes out the Roserade, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Ferrothorn in the lead, and honestly this is a pretty uncomfortable matchup. Of course, they could run Thunder, and when they do at least go to 5 Bullet Seeds before throwing, then I kind of have to shield there, and they bait me with a Mirror Shot, which is really unfortunate. And now at this point, I know at least I can let this move go through, unless they're a completely mad lad and they also run Thunder with Mirror Shot. But at this point, I'm going to swap, and I catch the Mirror Shot onto my Shadow Kingdra, which is great for me. I can preserve the Pelipper just in case I need it in the end game. The opponent going to keep on farming up. I'm now going to shield this charge move, and it is a Power Whip, so that's great. Going to try and farm them down, but I'm not going to be able to do so, so I go for an Octazooka just before they make it to the next charge move, and we grab a shield and we get the debuff, but they make it to a charge move just in time. Power Whip barely doesn't take us out, so they snipe with their Trevenant. And now I'm going to come in with the Alolan Exeggutor here. I'm going to try and make the catch on the Shadow Ball, and we get the catch. Unfortunately, we don't get off the Weather Ball. We shouldn't get it off anyways, but I wasn't planning on doing that. I'm just going to go for the full farm down here. They commit to the Shadow Ball. They don't get there. But unfortunately, they've got Shadow Marwile, and this is an absolute wall to Alolan Exeggutor. Yeah, and so I'm going to stop attacking. They take us out there, and unfortunately, that catch kind of costs us the game there, so unfortunately not every catch does pay off. But into the next battle, we see another Lantern in the lead. Gonna say swap into the Kingdra, and we can live any charge move here. Well, I mean, we can't live an Earthquake, but they don't build to the Earthquake. Now I'm gonna go for the Octazooka. If I was running Outrage, there would be no reason to bait here, but the opponent doesn't know I'm not running it, so they shield, and we get the debuff with Octazooka. Now, I'm going to let this Icicle Spear go through, and you will see that with that debuff, we're actually going to be able to tank 3 Icicle Spears and commit to a full wing attack farm down and come out with so much loaded energy and not an awful lot of health, which is fine. We don't need much health. There's a Lantern in the lead. It's not like we're going to be able to dominate that matchup. But here, the opponent comes in with Trevenant. I'm going to shield this up and I should be able to Dragon Tail, farm them down, but they go for the Seed Bomb bait. Of course, we've got 2 shields, so it makes a lot of sense. We go for a Seed Bomb of our own, they make it to 1 more charge move, and I still think a Seed Bomb would do more damage than any move from the Lantern, and I'm now at the Seed Bomb, so I'm going to do big damage up against this Lantern, and that's basically going to allow me to take them out with my Pelipper in the end game. They end up throwing their charge move here, Thunderbolt takes us out, but we've got that Hurricane loaded, and even though Pelipper hard loses to Lantern, we take them out and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, yet another Lantern in the lead. Just can't catch a break at the moment, and we're going to swap into the Kingdra. The opponent this time staying in once again and going to go for their charge move. Thunderbolt grabs my shield, and the opponent's still staying in, so I kind of have to throw here. I go for that Exeggutor, and Exeggutor grabs the shield, and now they swap into the Galarian Weezing, and maybe I should have committed to the Blizzard, not really sure. I think they probably would have thrown their energy straight away anyway, so yeah, not really sure what I could have done here, but unfortunately they will definitely regain switch advantage, so no point using my second shield. Gonna come in with my Pelipper, and they have got quite a bit of energy, so I'm just going to go for that Weather Ball straight away, make sure I get rid of it, and then hope that Alolan Exeggutor can sweep in the end game. So I'm actually going to stay in initially, hoping to catch a move. They have Marwile in the back, so it is the same team that we saw earlier, but unfortunately this time around I wasn't able to flip switch up against the Galarian Weezing, and it doesn't look like I will be able to win this game here. Gonna let the move go through. Power Punch will take me out after a couple Fire Fangs, and now I really need to go for a Weather Ball and then somehow Wing Attack farm them down and come out with a Hurricane loaded to throw into the Lantern here. So they're going to go for a charge move from this range, Iron Head, so that doesn't boost their attack, but they swap out anyways, and they're able to go for a Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt takes out the Pelipper, and we do lose that game, unfortunately. But into the final battle of this video, we see a Galarian Weezing in the lead this time around. And we're just going to stay in, of course. This is a fairy type, so we don't really want to see it up against our dragons. Of course, we have flip switch once with our Kingdra, but it doesn't really help here. We go for the Hurricane. The opponent caught it onto a Bomber Snow, and we fully nuke them there. So shout out to Yonkus, as he made a pretty similar shot where his opponent caught a Sludge Wave, I think, from the Quillfish onto their Bomber Snow. So yeah, pretty funny that. We're now going to let the Brutal Swing go through. A bit of an odd decision there, not sure why I did that. And we're also going to let another Brutal Swing go through. And I'm hoping that I will be able to make it to an Exeggutor before they make it to a third Brutal Swing up against our Kingdra here. And we are able to get there in time. I really hope they just let this go through. Please, just let it go through, and they do let it go through. They come in with their Ferrothorn, and they will be able to farm us down, but not before I make it to an Exeggutor here. And I really hope I get the debuff. Can we get the debuff? No, unfortunately not. So this is still going to be a little bit dicey. They've got quite a lot of health remaining. We come in with the Exeggutor, and we swap, and we perfectly catch the charge move. I knew they were at 100 energy, so they had to go for the move. It was the Flash Cannon, and that is going to win me the game there. And I'm able to take it. So GG's to that opponent. So that's going to be it for today's video. I still can't get over some of those 1 HP wins. That was just so ridiculous. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So firstly, we got Not a Shiny Kyogre, who says, I like Growlithe and Arcanine a lot since it's my first and only Shadow Shiny, but Shadow Shiny Charizard has to probably be the best one. And honestly, I really like all 3 of these choices. Growlithe and Arcanine, I really wish I had them. They look so nice in the shiny Shadow forms, but Charizard, pretty obvious choice there. I'm sure a lot of people love shiny Shadow Charizard. Next, we got Puka the Pikachu, who says, I have to say shiny Shadow Arbok. A golden cobra with red eyes and a purple aura just looks crazy good, and I have to agree, I wish I had this as well. It's a Pokemon that hasn't been available for a very long time, but now that we can get shiny Shadows from Grunts, maybe Ekans and Arbok will return soon. And finally, we got Ricardo, who says Shadow Weavile. That crimson contrasting with the golden feather things make it look like an Aztecan mythical creature. And yeah, this thing just looks amazing. I really love the shiny, but with the red eyes and the shadow aura, it just looks insane. And as for my opinion, I'm going to go based off the shiny shadow Pokemon I have, and my favorite is shiny Shadow Venonat. I think that blue shiny with the huge red eyes and the purple shadow aura just looks so cool. I think a really underrated shiny shadow and definitely my favorite. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.